977 330-729-9977. That's 330-729-9977. If you have any legal questions, you can give us a call. Best way to get in touch with the lawyers. We bring on some of the finest lawyers around. They answer your legal question, try to point you in the right direction, solve your problem, prevent you from getting a legal bill. That is what it's all about. And it's all courtesy of Beatrice Kopp till 6. Once we hit 6, we got to shut her down, as they say. 330-729-9977 will get you through to us on News Radio 570 WKBN. And as always, you can always, as many people do, email me questions before we get to Thursday to ask our attorneys, and I'm more than happy to do that as well as we get them prior to the broadcast. Let's go to the law firm of Beatrice Kopp and see who joins us at the round table. We're hoping attorney Mark DeVecchio is with us. Mark, are you there?
I am present and accounted for.
Oh, there he is, folks. The best family law lawyer that you're going to find is right there, attorney Mark DeVecchio. And Mark, who's joining you at the round table today?
We have Frank Cassis and James Melfi.
The dynamic trio, if you will. All right. So
right.
Frank and James are with us. And, of course, Mark DeVecchio's with us as well. And that's the good news. From my email questions, I'll start with an email question, then I'll get to our phone lines. The first email question comes from a guy that says, if I got married out of state in another state and I live in Ohio, do I have to go to the state that I was married in to get an annulment or a divorce, or can I do that in the state of Ohio?
Very good question. Once you establish residency in the state, that is your home state. So before you could file an action for divorce, you have to live in the state of Ohio for 6 months, and the county, whatever county you live in, you have to live in for 90 days. Once you reach that time, then you could file an action anywhere. So, anywhere in Ohio.
Right. So according to this emailer, he's lived here all of his life. The woman he's married hasn't lived here any length of time.
Where did they live when they were married?
In another state. Where they were married in another state.
Do they own property in another state? No. All right. Well, then he could file here. He's qualified. He's a resident. He could file and let her come here and contest it. Maybe you could use it as a bargaining chip and say, listen, let's just agree to everything and prepare a separation agreement. Be done.
Yeah, short-term marriage. There's something called an annulment? What is an annulment?
An annulment can be granted in Ohio under very limited circumstances. Failure to consummate, there are certain ways that you could annul your marriage. But there aren't a lot of grounds to annul. You have to fit it into a certain pigeonhole. Normally people equate annulments with a religious kind of a function, that the church will annul your marriage. But the courts can annul your marriage as well, provided you meet the requirements. Either it's you never consummated it, you were married by some kind of fraud, you were already married, one of the parties was already married. If you could prove one of those limited criteria, then you could get your marriage annulled.
So according to this emailer, if you're in a short marriage, a marriage that has been going on for just a few months to less than a year, according to this email, you still have to go through a divorce?
Yes. Yeah. You're married, you got to get divorced. That's the only way you disentangle.
There you have it. All right. Remember, you can always email me your questions and I'll ask them to the great ones. And let's take some calls. And see what lies ahead for us. I'm so calm now because we have Frank with us, we have Jim with us, we have DeVecchio with us. I don't know why there's a calmness about me. What's different about this show? I'm so calm. I'm so relaxed.
You do seem calm.
I seem very calm. I really do. Is he in sick bay or something? Does he have some major illness again?
I don't know. What do you know?
He's not ill.
Okay.
Well, he is ill. He's just not physically ill. but he is out of town. He had a hearing. Oh, okay. He had a hearing.
I was just checking because he's had COVID more than any human being on the planet.
He didn't stub his pinky toe.
No, I don't think his.
Yeah.
Well, I think he only has so many weeks left on the boat, right?
I think that might be it.
All right. So here we go. All right. You're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Line 1. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What's your question for the attorneys?
I have been dating somebody who is divorced and has been paying alimony. So if we get married, is she able to include my income and try to get more alimony?
No. I know the answer to that, right, Mark? No.
However, I mean, I'll throw you a little curveball. If during the divorce, you could argue there's a number of factors, a number of criteria that the court considers when determining a spousal support obligation. And if you read the revised code at the very bottom of the list, they say any other factors that are expressly relevant. And you could effectively argue, ma'am, if you are a multimillionaire and he is marrying you, that may be enough to open the doors. Now, she might not prevail, but it would qualify under the factors of considerations for spousal support. But you'd also have to look at whether the court has maintained jurisdiction or they haven't maintained jurisdiction. So if the court didn't maintain jurisdiction and he's paying a certain amount for a certain amount of time, there's nothing anybody could do to change that. But if the court maintains jurisdiction,
okay, I am not a millionaire.
Oh, well, then I'd say you're in pretty good shape.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, this has nothing to do with the legal show. But obviously, this guy was married once and divorced. Have you checked him out good? Do you know both sides of the story? So, no, I'm just trying to help you.
You got to vet him, ma'am. You got to vet him.
I appreciate that, but yes.
I mean, I just want to make sure you hear one side of the story. Why did he get divorced? I mean, did he beat her? Was he an alcoholic?
Oh,
was he gambling?
No, we're good. We're good with all that.
Did he cheat on her? Huh? These are things.
Actually, the opposite. So we're good.
All right. I'm looking out for your best interest.
And I appreciate that. But I do have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So when it comes time, say we do get married and down the road, he retires. Now, I hear that she's eligible for a % of his Social Security. Does she get that % when he retires and when he passes away, or just when he passes away?
No, when he retires, if they were married for at least 10 years, and at the time of his retirement, she is unmarried, she would qualify to receive up to 1/2 of the Social Security that he receives. So if she has contributed to Social Security and she has enough quarters in, and she's getting her own Social Security, but it's more than less than 1/2 of what he's getting, they will bump it up. If she was married 10 years and she's single at the time he's collecting, they will bump hers up to 1/2 of what he's getting, and it won't affect what he receives. So she is entitled to get it.
Won't. Okay.
It will not.
No. This is interesting, Mark.
And it won't affect the new wife like me?
No.
Well, no, you'd have to be married 10 years before
you
get a chunk of it.
before you could qualify for his Social Security, you need the 10-year marriage criteria first.
As well. You got to be married.
Even if you are the current wife.
How long have you been dating him?
Does he have a lot of money?
No.
How old is he?
No.
Okay, this is a great question.
Then, okay, wait.
No.
Then down the road, if we get married and whatever, and say he passes away.
Oh my God, she's going to kill him. I think she's going to kill him.
50% of his Social Security, and then me as the new wife, I would get the other 50%.
Well, I don't know what you might be eligible for some death benefits. So long as the old wife remains unmarried, she's going to continue to collect. And let's just use round figures. She gets, he's getting $1,000 a month Social Security. She gets $250 a month Social Security. When she makes application for his, the Social Security Administration will add $250 to her monthly payout so that she gets $500 and he gets $1,000. She will get that so long as she remains unmarried. Once she remarries, she is no longer qualified to receive your future husband's Social Security. Now, if she divorces husband 2, she could go back to your future husband and collect off him again. So you may be qualified for death benefits through the Social Security Administration.
Now, here's my question on her behalf. Does she have to be married to him, this woman that we're talking to now, for 10 years before she would be eligible to get any of his Social Security?
I'm pretty sure there's a qualifier. I don't know that it's 10 years. I can't just say it's 10 years definitively. I could say in a divorce it's 10 years. I know that. But if they're married and he passes, I would almost bet all the money in my pocket, that and it's not much, that there would be some
You know what,
qualifying time on it.
Now, hang on, lady.
Uh-huh.
Hang on 1 second, lady. Just bear with me. Jim and
Okay.
Frank, I got to tell you guys, I'm sensing this woman could be a gold digger. She's marrying an older guy, and
No,
she's
not at all.
Listen to
She's
me, guys.
actually younger than me.
No, I sense it from you. She's asking questions about, well, if he would die, what's in it for me?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
some
I'm
Well,
very
no, I
interesting
just want to
question.
make sure before because a lot of these ex-wives, they get so much stuff that I personally don't think they deserve.
Right, but
Well,
she
that's
was
called
the ex-wife,
baggage.
and obviously she was a wife for over 10 years. You would be the new wife, and
Exactly. And it sounds like the new wife is entitled to nothing.
right. Well, you're the new
That's not
wife. You're going to have to hang.
necessarily true.
Do you think he's got 10 years in him of life
Well,
left?
it sounds
if you
like you're
marry him?
wavering if you're going to marry
Yeah.
him or not now.
Okay, so it looks
Right.
like
No.
Oh my God! I think I've exposed her. She's a gold digger. I just know it.
I am not.
a surviving
Cue
spouse.
Kanye.
Yeah.
A surviving spouse must have been married to their deceased spouse for at least a year to be eligible to receive Social Security survivement benefits. So if you have plans on knocking them off, you got to wait at least 12 months after the marriage.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Unless
All right,
unless
you've been very helpful.
unless
Thank you.
Thank
unless
you.
you have
Oh,
a
my-
child. If you have a child together, then the
Oh,
1 year
she
rule
said
is
she's
waived.
older than me. It sounds like they're old. They can't be having children. It sounds
Yeah.
like they're old.
Who knows? There's age
Yeah, I'll tell
requirements
you,
too.
if I-
It looks like they have to be at least 60. Okay. So there are different
Yeah,
requirements.
I'm telling you, that guy better sleep with one eye open.
Or he'll be sleeping with
You
the
know what I'm
fishes.
saying? Right. You know what I mean? She's upset because you want to know something interesting? Listen to this, Frank and Jim. You're going to learn something here tonight, right, DeVecchio?
Yes.
I mean, there's some key years in marriage that matter. 10 years for Social Security and 20 years is a big determining factor as well. Those length of marriage, correct, Mark?
Well, 20 years is a factor, but it's not a factor that's written down in any of the code sections. Okay. That 20 years has been kind of manufactured because generally, in all the different courts I've practiced in, if you've been married in excess of 20 years and you're looking for a spousal support obligation, normally the court won't put a term on it. They won't say you're going to pay spousal support for 5 years. They'll say you're going to pay spousal support until further order of court, which means in order to stop it, you have to file a motion. You have to show that there's been some kind of a change of circumstances. They keep you on the hook. I've had guys that have paid, normally it's 1 year of support for 3 years of marriage. And that's not another thing. That's not an equation you're going to find in a law book. That's something that's just kind of my practical experiences. 1 year of support for 3 years of marriage.
Mark, we say in it's Latin, the term we use for this, Mark, it's called rule of thumb. I
Right.
think
There you
that's a
go.
Latin term.
But so, I've had guys married over 20 years that have paid spousal support for like 15.
And you can buy them out of spousal, right?
You could buy, sorry,
You can
buy them out.
make a lump sum.
You could make a lump sum. Absolutely. You could say, listen, instead of me being on the hook for Lord knows how long, and instead of you having to stay unattached, I mean, I'll pay you a lump sum and then you could go remarry and you don't have to worry about my check. You could go move in with somebody and you're still going to get the same amount. I'm going to pay you lump sum. Normally, spousal support would terminate on remarriage or cohabitation in a marital state. So there's a benefit to getting money up front lump sum because you could live your life and the obligor paying support could say, okay, I'm done. I don't have to worry about that
Right.
check every month.
See, that's the way I would, if I had to, I would wanna do it
Hypothetically,
that
if you had
way,
to do
right?
it.
Yeah, because no, but I'm saying though, like then you become attached to that number.
well,
every
this
month.
is going to
let's
be.
just say hypothetically that maybe that's probably the way I would have done it too.
Yeah.
Now, hypothetically, Frank, I find it interesting that you would ask a question like that.
Well, yeah, but I mean it in the sense of it makes a whole lot more sense if I'm going to go in that scenario where there was a female who was receiving the support in Mark's hypothetical. She now
Are you
becomes,
asking your hypothetical?
no,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
asking your hypothetical
No, I'm
question
saying,
for
yeah.
a good friend of yours by the name of Jim, perhaps?
No, Jim's happily
Not
married.
Jim.
I'm on year 3. Come on.
Yeah, he's happily married. But it does make a
Just
lot of sense.
teasing.
Like if you think about that lady,
All right.
she starts to depend on that monthly income.
Well, the only thing is,
So now she can't move in with somebody.
so now let's just say, for instance, you're paying $500 a month in spousal support, and it's for an indefinite term until further order of court. You don't know at the end of the day how much you're going to pay for how long.
Right.
So what you do is you make a discounted offer based on life expectancy, based on how many years you're going to be working, and you say, "I'll pay you X." Go ahead. You're going to commercial.
No, it's just gonna run a
Anyway,
sounder here.
so
You can keep
if
on going.
you could pay lump sum, but you might overpay because she might move in with somebody the next week,
Right.
and you'd be off the hook anyway.
Exactly. Sure.
So there you go.
All right.
Fraud with danger.
All right, that's interesting. All right, News Radio 570 WQAM. That was a great first caller.
Yes.
You're on the air with the attorneys tonight. Hello. Your question, please. Line 2. Hello. Oh, wait a minute. I punched a button. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, I have you on speaker because I'm elderly and can't hear. Are we okay?
I'm sorry, sir. You sound like you're elderly and you can't hear.
All right, I took it off speaker.
All
Okay,
right.
here's the situation. A year or so ago, I was at the dentist's office getting my teeth filled. The dentist came in herself that owns it, says you need a couple works on your teeth. And she says, "Oh," I said, I don't know if I'm covered." She came back in the room and says, "You're covered by insurance." Later on that year, I got a bill for $1,000. Okay. Well, yeah, I was covered, but not covered. I don't know how they figured
There
it.
was
They
a
always, I
deductible.
always ask them if I'm covered. I'll wait till the following year. So I went and inquired about it, see what we could do. You can't talk to that nurse anymore, the dentist. You have to go to the office manager. I talked to the office manager, said, "Well, you made the bill. It's up to you to see if you have insurance. You're obligated." And I tried to make a payment. She would not accept it. She wanted in full. They have a program that you could apply for credit. You sign up for that one, and then you're okay. They pay it. Well, lo and behold, it's turned over to collections.
Well, you haven't.
And
No, hang on, old timer.
After the collection,
Oh, no,
after
hold
the
on.
collections, they want to add on $500.
Because you
What leg do I have to stand on that I was told I had coverage?
all right, hang
And
on,
what could they do to me?
Now, old timer, I know you're deaf, but listen for a minute. So you're telling me you got a veneer, right? You got a couple veneers. Did I hear you correctly? Right?
Something like that, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And she said you have insurance coverage, but you owe $1,000 because there was a deductible. And so then you actually, I just want to make sure we got it. You took out a loan and they paid
No.
You did not.
No.
Okay. So you.
No, I did not.
Okay, just
They
answer my
told me
questions. Don't.
insurance covered it.
Oh, no, stop for a
And they-
minute. Stop.
they-
Stop.
they
Stop.
did,
Stop.
yeah.
The
Go ahead.
$1,000 you owe is you have to pay the dentist. Have you paid the dentist anything?
No, the office manager didn't accept it. She wanted me to take out a loan through there.
Okay. How much
which
can you pay
which I didn't want to do.
How much can you pay the office out of your pocket right now?
No, the basic minimum. I'm retired. Whatever, I could pay something.
Well, what's something?
Yeah.
What's the number?
So I go $50 a month.
$50 a
25.
month.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, take it away. Oh my gosh.
So I think the issue you have here is, to answer your first question, is this. If they told you don't have insurance, or you do have insurance, that ultimately is an obligation you need to check. I mean, if you have insurance, you should know what the policy is. The second thing is, it sounds like what you're describing was a deductible. And
$1,000 is a high deductible, though.
Okay.
it could be, but you don't know
but
the
it's
extent of the
usually market-
work.
Or it was a $5,000 job.
Mark,
They paid $4,000 and he owes the
Well,
dentist $1,000.
yeah.
Right. I mean, there's
usually
difference
listen, guys, in dental insurance, it usually pays for half and you got to pay the other half.
exactly.
In most dental
That's what it
policies.
sounds like. I
So
mean-
she was right. They check it as a courtesy. Hey, Frank, you're on your game tonight. God bless you.
Hey,
They
I try.
usually check it as a courtesy, but it's really up to you. So they paid $1,000. This guy owes $1,000, and they want paid in full, not $50 a month. What do you say to them on this?
Well, I mean, you know what? If they turn down a partial payment, if you want to make payments, I don't know that there's anything that says that you're not allowed to make
And
payments.
the
I mean,
collection agency will take
yeah,
partial payments.
they have to.
Yeah.
They'll take payments. They'll put you on a payment plan. We put people on payment plans.
Yeah.
I mean,
The office manager would not take it.
But
They
you're
told
now
me to take a loan.
No,
That's
d-
because she was
yeah.
trying to promote that
Right.
loan. She wanted to get you on the hook for the loan so that you
Yeah.
would pay that and then interest. You'd have to
Yeah.
pay in more than 1,000.
if collections have it, call
Yeah,
the collections agency and see if they'll
Okay.
work out a payment
Now,
plan
my
or if they'll take a
question is,
reduction for payment in full.
My question is, when it went to corrections, they added on $450 for their fee. What can they do for me being retired? How can they cancel my Social Security or what?
Who added on $450? So you're talking about the collection agency?
The collection agency.
Yeah.
They buy those debts. They
Yeah.
buy those debts for
They added-
pennies on the
They
dollar.
added $450.
Sir, the
It's a
remedy,
negotiation.
yeah, the remedy is to call them and then negotiate a payment plan for yourself that
Well-
you can afford.
Or you could say, listen, I'm on a fixed income. I'm retired. Tell them you're 93 years old and you need to get this paid, but soon, or else you may not pay it at all, and offer them $500.
I'm sure that if you call them on the phone, you'll get on their nerves, very similar to how you're getting on mine, and they'll probably want to work something out. All right.
Well, that's what I know. I want to know if I
All right.
didn't do anything. What can they do to me?
They'll take a
If he doesn't
judgment.
pay anything.
They'll take a judgment against you, and it'll be on your credit rating.
And at 87 years old, I am 87.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even worry
Well,
about
Yeah,
it.
if I were you, I think
Yeah.
you're working yourself up for nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So he can ignore
Pay
it.
what
think,
you
maybe?
pay what you can, or whatever.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him you can afford to pay him $50 a month. All right, and that's all. You hear
So
me?
then I still have to owe them their charge of 450
Well, yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah, you didn't pay.
I wouldn't
All right,
pay.
thanks. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Just offer him some money and tell him you're not paying the $450.
He's 87 years old. I mean, at $50 a month, how many months can he possibly pay? He's 87. Maybe 6.
Ron, did you have nails for breakfast today?
Yes, I did. I'm feeling really good today. I'm on fire today on this show, boys. Stay tuned. We'll come back and take more calls with our attorneys. A full half hour coming up.
New message.
Department of the Social Security Administration. The reason of this call is to inform you that your Social Security number has been suspended for suspicion of illegal activity. If you do not contact us immediately, your account will be deactivated.
He never sounded so good.
This is Super Bowl champion Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson was a full participant at practice today after he was limited on Wednesday by general arm soreness. The Guardians were held to just a hit today. They dropped their series finale against the Yankees. Cleveland will host the Rangers tomorrow night. And a former Colorado football staffer told SI he sought NIL funds from Saudi Arabia before the school shut him down. I'm Scott Davidson.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school, including tech. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. Offer ends 8/24. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Now, Ron Verb on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Well, what an interesting legal show we have underway, courtesy of Beatrice Kopp on News Radio 570 WKBN. And we go back to our attorneys. Joining us tonight is attorney Mark DeVecchio, who's the master of ceremonies. Mark, and you're joined by who else tonight? Jim and Frank, I believe, right? If they pay attention. All right. Hopefully they are. All right, guys, are you ready?
We're ready.
Back. All right. You know, I can always depend on you, Jim. When these other guys are off and not paying attention, you are always there.
Listen, the best
I'm
ability
here.
is availability, Ron, okay?
Yeah, you know, you guys are having a card game or something when the show goes on, and Jimmy's at least there for
Ron, you know what we were talking about? You could appreciate this. Did you
Yes.
join the Columbia Record Club in the 70s? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I still have my favorite Motown collection from them. If you want, why you want to borrow it?
No, I remember
I'm
the
still
TV
a
guide. They were
member.
like little stamps, and you'd put the
Yeah.
album you wanted. You'd put that little stamp thing on your application. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were the good old days.
I'm still doing it. I'm still getting albums from them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like the guy that wants to sell me a new car guarantee all the time. He keeps calling me. We've become known to each other on a first name basis. Say, you know, your car warranty's about to expire. I said, how do you know? All right. So you ready for more? You ready for more calls?
We're ready.
All right. You're on the air tonight with our attorneys. Hello, caller. Line 4, are you there? Hello. Back on hold they go. Wait a second. You're on the air with the attorneys tonight. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Good evening.
What's your
My question for the attorneys is, could you please explain to me what the duties and powers of an executor of an estate is, and if money in my estate is considered theirs or mine, because I have somebody I want to put in charge of my estate, and I don't want somebody to think, you know, it's their money, or does it stay mine? It's my name, but they're allowed to, you know, pay bills with it and stuff.
Well, the duty and the power of the what did you say?
Executor.
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 Okay,
Executor.
the duties and the power of the executor are to see to it that you carry out the wishes of the person that created the trust or drew up the will or whatever you're the executor for. You are a fiduciary that's acting on behalf of another to carry out their final wishes. So as an executor, nothing belongs to the executor. The executor does not own anything that he is kind of presiding over. Now, an executor can charge a fee, which would be based on a percentage of the estate, the value of the estate. You can charge a fee, so you would get paid, but you don't exert ownership over any of it.
Okay, so basically the money's not theirs. It won't be counted as theirs, but they can take care of all my bills.
Well,
Like, for instance, if I have a house with appliances or cars in the estate, and they need repairs, they can go ahead and, you know, pay for the repairs.
well, why would you want? You're talking about after you pass on, or are you talking about giving someone a durable power of attorney?
Probably a durable power of attorney, I guess, maybe.
Okay, so
Otherwise, you know, I got a few years left in me. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to pass away anytime soon.
all right, good. That's good.
But I want to be able to set it up where
Yeah. Well, hang on a second,
if
caller.
anything-
Hang on. Don't be so sure that it, you know, who knows how much longer you have.
None of us know, Ron.
Yeah, but here's the reality. He's asking about an executor. That's after you die, who
Right.
who takes care of the will. You need something
Okay.
else. You want somebody to be able to pay your bills while you're getting old and senile. Is that correct?
Yeah,
That's a
Got it.
durable power
Okay.
of attorney. So you would appoint
durable
someone.
power of attorney.
Yes,
Durable power of attorney.
and you could
Do you have
make it.
children? Caller?
Yes, I have a daughter and about actually 5 grandkids.
Do you trust your daughter?
Yeah, I do. I guess. Yeah.
Because the Durham power of attorney has some power, Mark, over your.
They have
finances.
absolute power. They have all the power that you have. They have. So they could purchase something on your behalf, a house, a business. They could negotiate settlements. They could sell off land. They could open and close bank accounts. A durable power of attorney can do everything that you could do because it's put in place in the event you become incapacitated, and all these things need to be done. Now, it's revocable. Like I said, they're a fiduciary. So if they're ever self-dealing or they're liquidating assets or they're doing things that damage your estate, then they could be removed. Or you could make it for a term specific and say, I am granting Mr. Jones the authority to be my durable power of attorney for a period of 12 months commencing October 1st and ending October 1st of next year. So you could do it for a term specific.
So
Duty specific.
You could have a duty
basically,
specific.
I cannot. Well, when you're saying specific, I'm thinking maybe I could say specifically if I need a new fridge, you can buy me one. If I need a roof, you can buy me one.
Let me caller pause for a second. Why do you want to do this? You sound coherent to me. Are you unable to write checks and take care of? How old are you?
Well, right now I'm 63. Right now,
63.
I'm just thinking about I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about what's coming next, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to allow somebody to have access to my money so they can pay the bills in case I do become incoherent.
I wouldn't do that until you start to decline.
Yeah.
That's not something you should do until you start to have some.
Yeah, you don't need to do it now.
You can get your affairs in order.
Yeah, correct.
You're still young,
right.
63. You know.
Yeah, Ron Braun has socks that old.
Unfortunately, I do. Thank you, caller. I mean, that's way too soon. People have got to understand, durable power of attorney, that's a lot of power someone has over you.
Oh, my God.
And if you have a good relationship with your children, that's a different story. But if he's iffy about it.
And then, Ron, you asked him if he could write checks. I got to tell you, I was writing out checks the other day. 3 people poked their head in my office and made fun of me. There's no checks anymore? Is that no longer a thing?
I write plenty of them.
I do too. That's all I do is write checks.
I wrote a check today. So.
Oh, okay. Because you're Gina and Lexi are like, you write checks? Like, yeah, I write checks.
Yeah, like my garbage company sends me a bill and they want a check. I mean, I don't know how you can function without them. These.
Well, what they said,
really
and it really caused me confusion. They said you could do this online. And I was like,
not on everything.
I go, what?
No, you can't.
Mark said, what's Google?
I go, what's online?
Right. You know what I mean? I mean, it's you gotta watch some of these things. Not everybody you can pay online, no, Mark. I mean,
I don't intend to pay anyone online, Ron. I'm
right.
If I can't write a check, then I don't think I want the service.
Exactly right. And that's one of the things, like you guys often say, hey, don't use a debit card because that doesn't have any of the guarantees you get with a credit card. I mean, that's not a good thing to use that.
Exactly.
When you're going to go out and buy a beer somewhere at a restaurant or use your debit card, because it's just not a good idea at all. All right. So let's take some more calls. You're on with our attorneys tonight. Hello. Question, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Ron, am I on?
Yes, you're on the air.
Okay. Hey, the show's been a little bit about divorce and everything. I was just wondering, been married for 42 years. I can't afford to divorce her. She's probably cleaned me out.
Yeah.
Cheaper to keep her.
On this annulment.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want to do the consummation anymore, can I get an annulment after 42 years?
That was great.
That was good.
That was the line of the night. That was the line of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what's the answer to that, Mark?
Well, unfortunately, at some point in time in the last 42 years, you consummated something, then it doesn't apply. You can't keep bringing that up every 3 months. By the way, we haven't consummated in the last 90. No, you can't renew it. It would be from the date of marriage, depending on how long. I mean, if it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, and
Well,
it
that
hasn't
guy's
been consummated, you have grounds. If it's
He's
42
just-
years, I
Yeah.
got to wonder about that marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's making it happen. You're on the air. Hello. Your question.
Well, put a religious report.
All right,
There's
you're on
one.
the air. Yeah, your question, please. Hello.
Thank you for taking my question. Hey, I had a recent photo traffic ticket. Do I need to pay that?
Oh God.
Well,
Do you own your
what-
vehicle?
Is it?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you lease
do you
or own
lease-
your car?
I own the vehicle.
I got 3 last week.
And it was, I've had them before, like over in Girard, whatever.
Yeah.
I've had them
I'm
before,
familiar.
never paid them. This is in Liberty. Now they're saying they're going to send a collection agency after me.
Yeah, I got
Right.
2 in Girard, 1 in Liberty. So I'm right with
Well,
you.
they all go to the
All I
same-
can tell you is plenty of people never pay him and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You make your own decision. But hey, let me tell you something else. Slow down. All right.
That's what my wife said.
No, I'm not kidding with you. You know they're there, so you can say,
Well, you
okay, I'm not
don't.
gonna pay it.
How do you know they're there? I didn't know on all the 3 that I got. I didn't know one of them was there. I didn't see any of them, and I was.
Well, you know the areas that they're in.
Yeah, but you know what? When you're 5 minutes late for a hearing, you tend to just worry about keeping your eyes straight ahead to make sure you get there,
Why
without
don't
being
you-
too late.
Why don't you leave 5 minutes earlier?
Because
Attorney
I was
DeVecchio.
because my last hearing before that ran 5 minutes late.
Didn't you? The hearing before that, you tell the judge, I have to leave. I have another hearing. Let's move this along. That's
Well,
what you say to the judge.
Well, it's a lot of judges are really decent about that. I will say that a lot of them are very decent, but it's still their courtroom, and you don't run their courtroom. So it's kind of disrespectful to tell a judge, "Hey, judge, you got to get moving, man. I got to go." You're not going to win favor with that judge. I'm just telling you.
They don't like that.
Really? All right. Well, here's what you do. Here's what Dave does when he's running behind like that. He calls Frank and says, "Hey, go cover this for me,"
It's
and then the
fine.
problem's solved.
Yeah. He does a lot of stuff like that.
Frank, I'm sick. Can you go cover this, Frank? I have
I
walking
have
pneumonia.
COVID. I have
Yeah.
COVID for the 18th
He won't do
time.
last minute because I would just be like, no. But he'll
Yeah,
set me
but
up. He'll set me up.
if you say no, he calls Melfi.
Yeah, and then
I don't answer.
He goes down the line.
Right. There you go. You're on the air with the hello, attorneys. You're on the air.
Hey, I was wondering, man. We're getting our house redone in Boardman, so we rented a house down in Columbiana for 2 months, and they have Ring cameras here, which is fine to me on the front door, but on the back patio they have a Ring camera. Are they allowed to just watch us?
Well, it's motion activated.
Right. And you don't own the
Well, no,
home.
but if we're sitting out here, if I'm doing something like smoking marijuana and they don't like that,
Well, that's
it's
legal.
their- yeah, it's their house, and they're allowed to have surveillance on the outside. If you said they had cameras in the bedroom or something,
Or the
then,
bathroom,
or
yeah, you got a
bathroom,
problem.
But it's there.
Yeah,
you know,
but don't you have an expected privacy on your back patio?
it's not yours.
Yeah, it's
So you
not yours.
can't just have people just dialing up watching you.
You have a right to quiet use and enjoyment on your property. That's not your property. It's somebody else's. And they have an interest in protecting it. So if they have cameras facing outside, I would say that that's okay. They're within their right. The guys were right, though. If they have it on the
But
inside, that may be a
they get
problem.
to here and watch me
Yeah, because you can go
on
to
my
another
private
house and
back
run it.
patio.
If you're allegedly smoking
let me-
marijuana, yes,
Well-
they can watch you.
Hey,
smoke on
watch
your back
caller. Be
patio.
quiet for a minute. And Jim, I got a good
Wait,
question
so,
for you.
so if they said that you can't drink alcohol on the premises, is that legal?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
their
it's their
property. They can
property.
enforce it. They own the
There's-
Yeah, but
property.
it's legal to drink.
It doesn't
drink
matter. It's
alcohol
their
anywhere.
property.
So what's the
That's
difference?
not necessarily true. It's not legal to drink.
No
alcohol.
no way is that legal.
Sounds like you
can't
got it.
tell
That's-
people what they can and can't do.
Yeah,
That's legal.
when you're leasing
Yes,
their
you can.
house, you
Over there
can.
doing lines of cocaine off of the
You,
patio.
you should have done a little more research before you leased that house, my man.
Hey, hang on a second, irate caller. I got something for you that could actually help you. All right. Now, just take
All right.
another sip of Old Milwaukee and listen to this. Guys, if they have Ring cameras.
Keystone Light.
Okay, good. Guy, just swing another 6 down. Guys, if they have Ring cameras, those Ring cameras only work if they're connected to Wi-Fi. Now, listen to me, caller. Who is paying for the Wi-Fi in the house?
He's there.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
they're
he's paying
for the
rent. He's
Wi-Fi.
paying monthly
Okay.
rent.
But they can be
So,
hardwired in.
so wait. So you can watch your tenants come and go as they please and do what they want privately? Is that fine? No
on
way.
on the outside
No
of
way
the
is that
building,
fine.
on the outside, you can.
Well, if you knew the answer, why'd you
No,
call?
and I haven't had a problem with this. I just don't like the idea that they can sit back here and watch me privately on a private patio that no one else in America can see, and they can just sit here and watch me.
Yeah, you know what though? Here's
And if they have a problem with what I'm doing that isn't bothering anybody, that's a problem.
So let me give you an example of something. So there was a rental. We did an Airbnb on vacation, and there were cameras on the outside, and I didn't love it. So the next year we didn't stay there that week. I thought it was odd. But another stipulation that they had was we were not allowed to smoke cigarettes, cigars, whatever. And we love smoking cigars.
Well,
so we smoked. Well, they saw us, and they were gonna, there's something in the contract that they can fine us. And
listen, I
can't
just
do it.
I was in Vegas, and I was staying at the MGM, and there's a sign in the rooms at the MGM, and marijuana is legal in Vegas, and it said you are not permitted to smoke tobacco, pipes, cigars, marijuana, vapes.
Yeah,
they have a
sure.
long list of things that you are not allowed to smoke in the room, and if they show you smoke, you are subject to the $500 cleaning fee.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like in a restaurant. There's
Yeah.
restaurants where you're not allowed to vape, period, end. I mean, there's a sign up. You can't vape.
I'm outside in the middle of the country.
Yeah. Well, I tell you
Give me
what.
a break, man. Give me a break, dude. We got globalists taking over this country, and we're worried about somebody smoking weed, which is legal,
why
on a
don't you-
patio outside.
Have you smoked any today? Because you seem angry to me. You need to calm down. Have you smoked any?
No. I need to go get the vape a little more.
Don't do it on the. Hey, don't do it on the back patio. Go off the side of the house and put your chair over there.
Why don't you put a piece of tape over the camera?
Yeah.
You know what? I am going to go smoke it and then say, I hope you're for Trump.
All right. See you later. All right. I mean, it's odd. I mean, I understand he's saying, boy, I don't have.
I
any
agree.
crime to
I
say.
wouldn't want to stay there.
But they can't have them inside. I mean, you have a right to privacy inside,
Yeah,
but
right.
I mean, it's.
I mean,
it's
I
very
would
interesting.
imagine that that's for security purposes when that property's not being
Correct.
occupied, right?
Yeah, and you know what? If you're doing it for reasons like burglary and things like that, they could come in the back door as easy as they could come in the front door.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I got bad news for everybody. There's Ring cameras everywhere. So
Everywhere.
if you think your
That's
privacy,
right.
if you're concerned about your privacy, think about your neighbor's house across the street from you. They're everywhere.
The Ring
I wanna
camera
go back
catches
to
some
this
gold,
one.
though.
Mhm.
I have some funny videos.
Oh yeah.
But Frank, I want to go back to this. You were at a B&B and you weren't allowed to smoke cigars. Well, you were smoking them outside.
Yeah. They're on their they said on their property, they did not want any cigar smoking. And there was a really cool front porch. And it was on the, like, not on the water, but it was a block away. And we sat out there every night and had a drink. And I enjoy smoking cigars. And I mean, I honestly did not know that until we got there. And I'm like, this is a deal breaker for me. Like, this is vacation. So I just went and rolled the dice. And they did figure it out. And I mean, nothing happened, but it was
Oh, yeah,
enforceable.
because you're a lawyer. Nothing
Uh,
happened because you're a lawyer. And they said, well, we're going to charge you $500 more. And you being the lawyer that you are, got it whittled down to nothing.
That's true. But but they still, honestly, they could enforce.
But it's a
it.
hassle on your vacation
Well,
that you
right,
want to
yeah,
have. You don't want to have
know.
to deal
And I
with
mean,
it.
that's we learned a lesson there.
Yeah.
So from there on out, we've always vetted those types of things, and I didn't know that existed. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But it is. There's certain rules you got to follow. And unfortunately, I don't like them.
Most cigar smokers that I run into are just weird. They're odd people, these cigar smokers.
Oh my
It
God.
it really could be cult like.
I think we probably know more people that smoke cigars than don't.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
if you
I
look
do,
at
for
our
sure.
friends and
The
family,
funny thing is I can't smoke cigarettes. Like I like cigars. I don't like cigarettes. Sometimes when I'm drunk, I smoke them, but that's it.
Frank, have you ever watched that Seinfeld episode where Kramer had all the smokers over to his apartment?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's what you need to think about when Jerry said, "What's happening to your face, Kramer?" Oh my God, I'm disfigured. You know what I mean, I'm disgusting. You know what I mean? It could be happening to you, Frank, when you're smoking these cigars.
It could be. You're right.
I mean, you know, what's next for you, Frank? Biting your fingernails?
Oh, I do
Wait a
that.
minute.
I stopped that a long time ago, Ron. That's a gross habit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is a disgusting habit. All
But
right,
I did it
let's take-
forever.
Between the lines.
Hang on a minute. We'll come right back in a minute.
And under the surface.
Dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We've officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events. Is somebody messing with us? Now it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's
Ron, can you hear
#1
us?
podcast network,
Can you hear us?
iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
News Radio 570 WKBN. All right, let's go back to calls. You're on the air with the attorneys. Your question, please.
Hi, am I on?
Yes, question.
Okay, can a power of attorney vote for somebody?
If the power of attorney allow. Well, are you talking about in a federal election, or at like a tenants
Yes.
meeting?
Yes.
No,
I'm
you
talking
can't.
about
You
in
can't vote it.
election, the presidential election.
No, you cannot. You cannot delegate your vote to anyone else. But maybe like an attendance meeting or something, you
like
could
a
have something.
homeowners association, yeah.
No,
that's
not-
election
Not
fraud.
in a,
No, I believe
No.
there's laws
Okay.
specifically prohibiting that.
Okay.
okay, are we sure about that? 100%?
I'm sure. I'm 100% sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Lock it
Thank
in. Final answer.
All right. Frank's probably smoking a cigar as we speak.
Oh, I would
You're
if
on
I
the
was
air.
allowed to.
Hello.
Is this me?
Yes, your question, please. Yes, caller. You sound
Why
confused.
are you talking smack about me and I'm not there? Jimmy, why are you talking smack about me and I'm not there?
Because it's the
I
best
have
time
to
to do
listen
it.
on the air and watch on Facebook. You guys talking smack about me when I'm not there?
Who is this?
yes.
He said,
Who is this?
do we know this
Oh,
guy?
Is this an elderly
Who is
gentleman?
this?
And the guy with the Ring camera, are you ready for this solution?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Duct tape.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said put tape
You said
over
put
it.
a piece of paper. How's the paper going to
I
go?
said
Frank?
tape.
Piece of duct tape.
Your ears need cleaned out. I said tape.
Yeah.
Who is this?
But trust me, I don't know who it is.
Who is
irate first time caller.
Is this an irate
Come on,
caller?
old timer.
Really? Irate first time caller? Is that what you're going to say to me?
Yes.
Okay, Frank, I heard you now.
I
I heard
didn't
you
s-
talking
I
smack, you and
didn't
Jimmy
s-
about me.
I didn't
I
say
heard,
that.
oh, I call you last minute. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And then
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Time
yes.
out. Ron said, like David.
Yes.
I
Yes, I
said
did.
he doesn't call me last minute. He'll set me up before that.
Yes. And then I said if he doesn't get you, he'll call Jimmy Melfi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
See?
and Jimmy said I wouldn't answer my phone. So I don't think you got to
Yeah.
beef with
Well,
any of
because I'll
these
hear
guys.
Frank from his office say no, so I'm going to
Jimmy
say
not
no.
answering the phone is smack talk.
So
Okay. They don't think I'm listening. You forget we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I
Who
can watch
says
it all over the
says
place.
we didn't think you were listening?
Okay, and I got a camera on you too, so
Oh.
you know you're under surveillance.
yeah.
Who
So
Okay. And we'd be on TikTok if our producer knew how to get a live stream key, but it
Leo,
seems
do you
to
hear
be
this?
beyond his capabilities.
all right.
Leo just shook his head at you.
Yeah.
Are you sick or are you healthy? Caller.
I'm healthy now. I took a weekend off, and I came up to Put-in-Bay, and I'm enjoying my life right now.
It's not the weekend. You took a weekend off. It's Thursday, for God's sakes. The weekend ended on Sunday. You should be back to work
I
Monday.
know. I took 4 days off this summer. My bad. Okay, my bad.
Well, I can tell that
Frank's
you're.
going to do the.
I can tell you're on
Frank's going to do
vacation.
the TV show for me tomorrow, though. We got a good topic on that.
That is a cool topic.
I can tell you're on vacation because you sound so calm and relaxed.
They are talking about locker rooms. Schools. And can they search your lockers? Can they search your bags, metal detectors, your phone, everything else?
Hmm. All right. Are you done now? Can we take more calls?
Oh, really? You're going to say that to me? Goodbye.
I think someone's. Yeah.
How long was he on hold waiting to get on there?
He called at 4:55.
I think I'd rather hear from that crazy guy that calls all the time. You're on the air with the attorneys. Question, please.
Yeah, real quick. A coworker of mine went downtown to pay taxes a couple of weeks ago, and for some reason couldn't find a parking space around the courthouse. I wonder why. And he parked in one of those lots across the street that didn't pay. Went in, came out. They put a ticket on his.
Yeah, pay it.
Yeah.
It'll go up. It's like oh, you better pay it. It'll
Wait,
be
is it
30, it'll be 33 and then like 60. You pay it.
Is it a private? Is it the private lot?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The two lots next to the courthouse. I got one today too.
And they have
Wait,
you,
which one?
got to use your phone, right, to pay it
Well,
through the
no,
phone.
you have to put your license plate in. Yeah, you got to pay it.
But how?
They have
How
attendance.
can they enforce?
It's a private lot.
No, they don't have
Wouldn't they
attendance.
Have to go to court to try to collect that.
Yeah, but they can stay. I would still pay it. That they can do it.
You will get the ticket that says if you don't pay in 90 days, within 90 days it's $33. After 90 days it's 66.
It's
after
a ticket from the
120.
city, right?
No, it would
No,
be
it's a
privately
private
owned. It's a
lot.
privately
It's
owned
not
lot.
the city. The city's not ticketing it.
All right.
Well, that's my point. They say they could tow your vehicle or
It's their
put boots
property.
on it.
It's their private
they
property.
could.
No. If you're no longer on their property, how can they do that? They're not going to chase you around.
Well, they don't.
They can't come onto my house and
No,
They're not going to come after your
that's
car.
when you're in the
Correct.
lot. That's when you're in the lot.
They could tow it from the
tow
lot.
it from the lot, or
Not from
boot
your
it in the
driveway.
lot.
Not from.
Yeah, once you
That's
leave,
what I'm getting at. Well, as long as you don't park there again, where's their power unless they go to court to try to collect that?
court's their power.
And they will, right?
Yes.
I mean, in that case, they will.
Yeah,
You
they
better
will.
pay it. They'll tell you not to, but you better. All right. I really enjoyed this show. There was a calmness about it all till the very
Until the end.
Yes.
Now
yes.
we're all anxious.
Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, go smoke some cigars. All right.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Thank you. The Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Cop.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.